thanks everybody for joining. Thank you to all the performers. We're going to be reading Endgame by Samuel Beckett, which was first performed in April of 1957. It is an absurdist play, as most Beckett plays are. We have a wonderful cast of characters. If you all would like to introduce yourselves and say what character you are playing, and or stage directions if you're reading them. And then after that, I guess we'll get started.
I'm Bob Pearlman playing Ham.
I'm Stephanie Alderton playing Claw.
I'm Sam Charney and I'm playing Nag.
Thomas Gerlick and I'm playing Nell.
I'm Erin Slimak. I'll be reading the stage directions.
Awesome. Well, with that, do a 3, 2, 1, go.
Fair interior, gray light. Left and right back, high up, 2 small windows, curtains drawn. Front right, a door. Hanging near door, its face to wall, a picture. Front left, touching each other, covered with an old sheet, 2 ash bins. Center, in an armchair on casters, covered with an old sheet, Ham. Motionless by the door, his eyes fixed on Ham, Claw. Very red face. Brief tableau. Claw goes and stands under window left. Stiff, staggering walk. He looks up at window left. He turns and looks at window right. He goes and stands under window right. He looks up at window right. He turns and looks at window left. He goes out, comes back immediately with a small stepladder, carries it over and sets it down under window left, gets up on it, draws back curtain. He gets down, takes 6 steps, for example, towards window right, goes back for ladder, carries it over and sets it down under window right, gets up on it, draws back curtain. He gets down, takes 3 steps towards window left, goes back for ladder, carries it over and sets it down under window left, gets up on it, looks out of window. Brief laugh. He gets down, takes 1 step towards window right, goes back for ladder, carries it over and sets it down under window right, gets up on it, looks out of window. Brief laugh. He gets down, goes with ladder towards ash bins, halts, turns, carries back ladder and sets it down under window right, goes to ash bins, removes sheet covering them, folds it over his arm. He raises 1 lid, stoops and looks into bin. Brief laugh. Closes lid. Same with other bin. He goes to Ham, removes sheet covering him, folds it over his arm. In a dressing gown, a stiff toque on his head, a large blood-stained handkerchief over his face, a whistle hanging from his neck, a rug over his knees, thick socks on his feet. Ham seems to be asleep. Clav looks him over. Brief laugh. He goes to door, halts, turns towards auditorium.
Finished. It's finished. Nearly finished. It must be nearly finished. Grain upon grain, one by one, and one day suddenly there's a heap, a little heap, the impossible heap. I can't be punished anymore. I'll go now to my kitchen, 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet, and wait for him to whistle me. Nice dimensions, nice proportions. I'll lean on the table and look at the wall and wait for him to whistle me.
He remains a moment motionless, then goes out. He comes back immediately, goes to window right, takes up the ladder and carries it out. Pause. Ham stirs. He yawns under the handkerchief. He removes the handkerchief from his face. Very red face. Glasses with black lenses.
Me.
He yawns.
To play.
He takes off his glasses, wipes his face, his eyes, the glasses, puts them on again, folds the handkerchief, and puts it back neatly in the breast pocket of his dressing gown. Clears his throat, joins the tips of his fingers.
Can there be misery?
He yawns.
Loftier than mine, no doubt, formerly, but now, my father, my mother, my dog. Oh, I am willing to believe they suffer as much as such creatures can suffer. But does that mean their sufferings equal mine? No doubt. No, all is absolute. The bigger a man, the fuller he is. And the emptier. Cloth. No, alone. What dreams those forests. Enough, it's time it ended in the shelter too. And yet I hesitate. I hesitate to end. Yes, there is. It's time it ended, and yet I hesitate to end. Oh, God, I'm tired. I'd be better off in bed.
He whistles. Enter Claude immediately. He halts beside the chair.
You pollute the air. Get me ready. I'm going to bed.
I've just got you up.
And what of it?
I can't be getting you up and putting you to bed every 5 minutes. I have things to do.
Did you ever see my eyes?
No.
Did you ever have the curiosity, while I was sleeping, to take off my glasses and look at my eyes?
Pulling back the lids? No.
One of these days I'll show them to you. It seems they've all gone white. What time is it?
The same as usual.
And
Have you
gestures
looked?
towards right window.
Have you looked?
Yes.
Well,
0.
it needs rain.
It won't rain.
Apart from that, how do you feel?
I don't complain.
You feel normal?
I tell you, I don't complain.
I feel a little strange. Clav,
Yes?
have you not had enough
Yes. Of what?
of this thing?
I always had. Not you?
Then there's no reason for it to change.
It may end. All life long, the same questions, the same answers.
Get me ready.
Claude does not move.
Go and get the sheet.
Claude does not move.
Clav,
Yes?
give you nothing more to eat.
Then we'll die.
I'll give you enough to keep from dying. You'll be hungry all the time.
Then we won't die. I'll go and get the sheet.
He goes towards the door.
No,
Claude halts.
I'll give you 1 biscuit per day. 1.5. Why do you stay with me?
Why do you keep me?
There's no one else.
There's nowhere else.
You're leaving me all the same.
I'm trying.
You don't love me.
No.
I've made you suffer too much. Haven't I?
It's not that.
I haven't made you suffer too much?
Yes.
You gave me a fright. Forgive me. I said forgive me.
I heard you. Have you bled?
Les, is it not time for my painkiller?
No.
How are your eyes?
Bad.
How are your legs?
Bad.
But you can move.
Yes.
Then move.
Claude goes to back wall, leans against it with his forehead and hands.
Where are you?
Here.
Come back.
Claude returns to his place beside the chair.
Where are you?
Here.
Why don't you kill me?
I don't know the combination of the cupboard.
Go and get 2 bicycle wheels.
There are no bicycle wheels.
What have you done with your bicycle?
I never had a bicycle.
The thing is impossible.
When there were still bicycles, I wept to have one. I crawled at your feet. You told me to go to hell. Now there are none.
And your rounds, when you inspected my paupers, always on foot?
Sometimes on horse.
The lid of one of the bins lifts and the hands of Nag appear, gripping the rim. His head emerges. Nightcap, very white face. Nag yawns, then listens.
I'll leave you. I have things to do.
In your kitchen?
Yes.
Outside of here, it's death. All right, be off.
Exit Clav.
We're getting on.
Me pap.
Accursed progenitor.
Me pap.
The old folks at home, no decency left. Guzzle, guzzle, that's all they think of.
He whistles. Enter Clav. He halts beside the chair.
I thought you were leaving me.
Oh, not just yet, not just yet.
Me pap.
Give Miss Pap.
There's no more pap.
Do you hear that? There's no more Pap. You'll never get any more Pap.
I want me pap.
Give him a biscuit.
Exit Clav.
Accursed fornicator, how are your stumps?
Never mind me stumps.
Enter Clav with biscuit.
I'm back again with the biscuit.
He gives biscuit to Nag, who fingers it, sniffs it.
What is it?
Sprat's medium.
It's hard, I can't.
Bottle him.
Clav pushes Nag back into the bin, closes the lid. Clav returns to his place beside the chair.
If age but new.
Sit on him.
I can't sit.
True, and I can't stand.
So it is.
Every man his specialty. No phone calls. Don't we laugh?
I don't feel like it.
Nor I. Clav,
Yes,
nature has forgotten us.
there's no more nature.
No more nature? You exaggerate.
In the vicinity.
But we breathe, we change, we lose our hair, our teeth, our bloom, our ideals.
Then she hasn't forgotten us.
But you say there is none.
No one that ever lived ever thought so crooked as we.
We do what we can do.
We shouldn't.
You're a bit of all right, aren't you?
A smithereen.
This is slow work. Is it not time for my painkiller?
No. I'll leave you. I have things to do.
In your kitchen?
Yes.
What? I'd like to know.
I look at the wall.
The wall. And what do you see on your wall? Mean, naked bodies?
I see my light dying.
Your light dying. Listen to that. Well, it can die just as well here, your light. Take a look at me and then come back and tell me what you think of your light.
You shouldn't speak to me like that.
Forgive me. I said, forgive me.
I heard you.
The lid of Nag's bin lifts. His hands appear, gripping the rim. Then his head emerges. In his mouth, the biscuit. He listens.
Did your seeds come up?
No,
Did you scratch them around to see if they had sprouted?
they haven't sprouted.
Perhaps it's too early.
If they were going to sprout, they would have sprouted. They'll never sprout!
Nag takes biscuit in his hand.
This is not much fun. But that's always the way at the end of the day, isn't it, Clav?
Always.
It's the end of the day like any other day, isn't it, Clav?
Like it.
What's happening? What's happening?
Something is taking its course.
All right, be off.
He leans back in his chair, remains motionless. Clav does not move. Heaves a great groaning sigh. Ham sits up.
I thought I told you to be off.
I'm trying.
He goes to the door, halts.
Ever since I was whelped.
We're getting
Exit
on.
Clav. He leans back in his chair, remains motionless. Nag knocks on the lid of the other bin. Pause. He knocks harder. The lid lifts, and the hands of Nell appear, gripping the rim. Then her head emerges. Lace cap, very white face.
What is it, my pet? Time for love?
Were you asleep?
Oh no,
Kiss me.
we can't.
Try.
Their heads strain towards each other, fail to meet, fall apart again.
Why this farce, day after day?
I've lost me tooth.
When?
I had it yesterday.
Ah, yesterday.
They turn painfully towards each other.
Can you see me?
Hardly. And you?
What?
Can you see me?
Hardly.
So much the better. So much the better.
Don't say that. Our sight has failed.
Yes.
They turn away from each other.
Can you hear me?
Yes. And you?
Yes. Our hearing hasn't failed.
Are what?
Our hearing.
No. Have you anything else to say to me?
Do you remember? When we crashed on our tandem and lost our shanks?
Laugh heartily.
It was in the Ardennes.
On the road to Sudan. Are you cold?
Yes. Perished. And you?
I'm freezing. Do you want to go in?
Yes.
Then go in.
Nell does not move.
Why don't you go in?
I don't know.
Has he changed your sawdust?
It isn't sawdust. Can you not be a little accurate, Nag?
Your sand, then. It's not important.
It is important.
It was sawdust once.
Once.
And now it's sand. From the shore. Now it's sand he fetches from the shore.
Now it's sand.
Has he changed yours?
No.
Nor mine. I won't have it.
Holding up the biscuit.
You want a bit?
No. Of what?
The biscuit, I've kept half.
He looks at
You have.
biscuit.
3/4 for you here.
He proffers the biscuit.
Do you not feel well?
Quiet, quiet. You keep me awake. Talk softer. If I could sleep, I might make love. I'd go into the woods. My eyes would see the sky, the earth. I'd run. They wouldn't catch me. Nature. There's something dripping in my head. A heart in my head.
Do you hear him? A heart in his head.
One mustn't laugh at those things, Nag. Why must you always laugh at them?
Not so loud.
Nothing is funnier than unhappiness. I'll grant you that, but
Oh,
yes. Yes, the most comical thing in the world, and we laugh. We laugh with a will in the beginning. But it's always the same thing. Yes, it's the funny story we have heard too often. We still find it funny, but we don't laugh anymore. Have you anything else to say to me?
no.
Are you quite sure? Then I'll leave you.
Do you want your biscuit? I'll keep it for you. I thought you were going to leave.
I am going to leave you.
Could you give me a scratch before you go?
No. Where?
In the back.
No. Rub yourself against the rim.
It's lower down in the hollow.
What hollow?
The hollow. Could you not? Yesterday you scratched me there.
Ah, yesterday.
Could you not? Would you like me to scratch you? Are you crying again?
I was trying.
Perhaps it's a little vain.
What was that he said?
Perhaps it's a little vain.
What does that mean? That means nothing. Shall I tell you the story of the tailor?
No. What for?
To cheer you up.
It's not funny.
It's always made you laugh. The first time I thought you'd die.
It was on Lake Como. One April afternoon. Can you believe it?
What?
That we once went out rowing on Lake Como. One April afternoon.
We had gotten engaged that day before.
Engaged.
You were in such fits that we capsized. By rights, we should have been drowned.
It was because I felt happy.
It was not. It was not. It was my story and nothing else. Happy? Don't you laugh at it still every time I tell it. Happy.
It was deep, deep, and you could see down to the bottom. So white, so clean.
Let me tell it again. An Englishman needing a pair of striped trousers in a hurry for the New York festives goes to his tailor, who takes his measurements. That's the lot. Come back in 4 days. I'll have it ready. Good 4 days later. So sorry. Come back in a week. I've made a mess of the suite. Good. That's all right. A neat seat can be very ticklish. A week later. Frightfully sorry. Come back in 10 days. I've made a hash of the crotch. Good. Can't be helped. A snug crotch is always a teaser. 10 days later. Dreadfully sorry. Come back in a fortnight. I've made balls of the fly. Good. At a pinch, a smart fly is a stiff proposition. I've never told it worse. I tell the story worse and worse. Well, I make it short. The bluebells are blowing and his bollocks the buttonholes. God damn you to hell, sir. No, it is indecent. There are limits. In 6 days, do you hear me? 6 days God made the world. Yes, sir, no less, sir, the world. And you're not bloody well capable of making me a pair of trousers in 3 months. My dear sir, my dear sir, look at the world and look at my trousers.
He looks at Nell, who has remained impassive, her eyes unseeing. He breaks into a high, forced laugh, cuts it short, pokes his head towards Nell, launches his laugh again.
Silence!
You could see down to the bottom.
Have you not finished? Will you never finish? Will this never finish?
Nag disappears into his bin, closes the lid behind him. Nell does not move, frenziedly.
My kingdom for a nightmare.
He whistles, enter Clove.
Clear away this muck. Chuck it in the sea.
Clove goes to bins, halts.
So white.
What? What's she blathering about?
Clove stoops, takes Nell's hand, feels her pulse.
Desert.
Clav lets go her hand, pushes her back in the bin, closes the lid. Clav returns to his place beside the chair.
She has no pulse.
What was she driveling about?
She told me to go away into the desert.
Damn busybody, is that all?
No,
What else?
I didn't understand.
Have you bottled her?
Yes.
Are they both bottled?
Yes.
Screw down the lids.
Clav goes towards door.
Time enough.
Clav halts.
My anger subsides. I'd like to pee.
I'll go get the catheter.
He goes towards door.
Time enough.
Clav halts.
Give me my painkiller.
It's too soon. It's too soon on top of your tonic. It wouldn't act.
In the morning, they brace you up, and in the evening, they calm you down. Unless it's the other way around. Little doctor. He's dead naturally,
He wasn't old.
but he's dead.
Naturally. You ask me that?
Take me for a little turn.
Clav goes behind the chair and pushes it forward.
Not too fast.
Clav pushes the chair.
Right around the world.
Clav pushes chair.
Hug the walls, then back to the center again.
Clav pushes chair.
I was right in the center, wasn't I?
Clav pushes.
We
Yes.
need a proper wheelchair with big wheels. Bicycle wheels. Are you hugging?
Yes.
It's a lie. Why do you lie to me?
There.
Stop!
Clav stops chair close to back wall. Ham lays his hand against wall.
Oh, wow. Beyond is the other hell. Closer, up against.
Take away your hand.
Ham withdraws his hand. Clav rams chair against back wall.
There.
Ham leans towards wall, applies his ear to it.
Do you hear?
He strikes the wall with his knuckles.
Do you hear? Hollow bricks.
He strikes again.
All that's hollow.
He straightens up.
That's enough. Back.
We haven't done the round.
Back to my place.
Clav pushes chair back to center.
Is that my place?
Yes, that's your place.
Am I right in the center?
I'll measure it.
More or less.
Clav moves chair slightly.
There.
I'm more or less in the center.
I'd say so.
You'd say so. Put me right in the center.
I'll go get the tape.
Roughly.
Clav moves chair slightly.
Bang in the center.
There.
I feel a little too far to the left.
Clav moves chair slightly.
Now I feel a little too far to the right.
Clav moves chair slightly.
I feel a little too far forward.
Clav moves chair slightly.
Now I feel a little too far back.
Clav moves chair slightly,
Don't stay there.
i.e. behind the chair.
You give me the shivers.
Clav returns to his place beside the chair.
If I could kill him, I'd die happy.
What's the weather like?
As usual.
Look at the earth.
I've looked.
With the glass.
No need of the glass.
Look at it with the glass.
I'll go and get the glass.
Exit Clav.
No need of the glass.
Enter Clav with telescope.
I'm back again with the glass.
He goes to window right, looks up at it.
I need the steps.
Why? Have you shrunk?
Exit Clav with telescope.
I don't like that.
Enter Clav with ladder, but without telescope.
I'm back again with the steps.
He sets down ladder under window right, gets up on it, realizes he has not the telescope, gets down.
I need the glass.
He goes towards door.
But you have the glass.
Clav halts.
No, I haven't the glass.
Exit Clav.
This is deadly.
Enter Clav with the telescope. He goes towards ladder.
Things are livening up.
He gets up on ladder, raises the telescope, lets it fall.
I did it on purpose.
He gets down, picks up the telescope, turns it on auditorium.
I see a multitude of transports of joy.
He lowers telescope, looks at it.
That's what I call a magnifier.
He turns towards Ham.
Well, don't we laugh?
I don't.
Nor I.
He gets up on ladder, turns the telescope on the without.
Let's see.
He looks, moving the telescope.
0,
He looks,
0,
he looks.
and 0.
Nothing stirs. All is.
0.
Wait till you're spoken to. All is what? All is what?
What all is, in a word? Is that what you want to know? Just a moment.
He turns the telescope on the without, looks, lowers the telescope, turns towards Ham.
Corpsed. Well, content?
Look at the sea.
It's the same.
Look at the ocean.
Clov gets down, takes a few steps towards window left, goes back for ladder, carries it over and sets it down under window left, gets up on it, turns the telescope on the without, looks at length. He starts, lowers the telescope, examines it, turns it again on the without.
Never seen anything like that.
What? A sail? A fin? Smoke?
The light is sunk.
We all knew that.
There's a bit left.
The base.
Yes,
And now,
all gone.
no gulls.
Gulls.
And the horizon, nothing on the horizon.
Clov lowers the telescope, turning towards him.
What in God's name could there be on the horizon?
The waves. How are the waves?
The waves?
He turns the telescope on the waves.
Lead.
And the sun.
0.
But it should be sinking. Look again.
Damn the sun.
Is it night already then?
No.
Then what is it?
Gray.
Lowering the telescope, turning towards him.
Gray. Gray!
He gets down, approaches him from behind, whispers in his ear.
Gray. Did I hear you say gray?
Light black. From pole to pole.
You exaggerate. Don't stay there. You give me the shivers.
Clov returns to his place beside the chair.
Why this farce, day after day?
Routine. One never knows. Last night I saw the inside my breast. There was a big sore.
You saw your heart.
No, it was living. Clov!
Yes,
What's happening?
something is taking its course.
Clov!
What is it?
We're not beginning to mean something.
Mean something? You and I mean something? That's a good one.
I wonder. Imagine if a rational being came back to Earth. Wouldn't he be liable to get ideas in his head if he observed us long enough? Ah, good. Now I see what it is. Yes, now I understand what they're at.
Clov starts, drops the telescope, and begins to scratch his belly with both hands.
And without going so far as that, we ourselves at certain moments to think perhaps it won't have all have been for nothing.
Clov still scratching himself.
I have a flea.
A flea? Are there still fleas?
On me there's one.
Scratching.
Unless it's a crab louse.
But humanity may start from there all over again. Catch him for the love of God.
I'll go and get the powder.
Exit Clov.
A flea. This is awful. What a day.
Enter Clov with a sprinkling tin.
I'm back again with the insecticide.
Let him have it.
Clov loosens the top of his trousers, pulls it forward, and shakes powder into the aperture. He stoops, looks, waits, starts, frenziedly shakes more powder, stoops, looks, waits.
The bastard.
Did you get him?
Looks like it.
He drops the tin and adjusts his trousers.
Unless he's laying doggo.
Laying? Lying, you mean, unless he's lying, doggo.
Ah? One says lying? One doesn't say laying?
Use your head, can't you? If he was laying, we'd be bitched.
Ah. What about that pee?
I'm having it.
Ah, that's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Let's go from here, the two of us. South. You can make a raft and the currents will carry us away, far away, to other mammals.
God forbid.
Alone, I'll embark alone. Get working on that raft immediately. Tomorrow I'll be gone forever.
Clov hastens towards door.
Wait.
Clov halts.
I'm terribly sorry I've lost it. What page are we on?
12. Right
Okay.
side.
Okay, something happened, and I'm sure I did it. All right. I'm terribly sorry, everybody. Wait. Will there be sharks, do you think?
Sharks? I don't know. If there are, there will be.
He goes towards
Wait.
door.
Wait.
Clov halts.
Is it not time for my painkiller?
No!
Clov goes towards door.
Wait.
Clov halts.
How are your eyes?
Bad.
But you can see.
All I want.
How are your legs?
Bad.
But you can walk.
I come and go.
In my house. One day you'll be blind like me. You'll be sitting here a speck in the void in the dark forever like me. One day you'll say to yourself, I'm tired. I'll sit down, and you'll go and sit down. Then you'll say, I'm hungry. I'll get up and get something to eat, but you won't get up. You'll say, I shouldn't have sat down. But since I have, I'll sit on a little longer. And then I'll get up and get something to eat, but you won't get up. And you won't get anything to eat. You look at the wall a while, then you'll say, I'll close my eyes. Perhaps have a little sleep. After that, I'll feel better, and you close them. When you open them again, there'll be no wall anymore. Infinite emptiness will be all around you. All the resurrected dead of all the ages wouldn't fill it, and there you'll be like a little bit of grit in the middle of the step. Yes, one day you'll know what it is, and you'll be like me, except you won't have anyone with you, because you won't have had any pity on anyone, and because there won't be anyone left to have pity on you.
It's not certain. And there's one thing you forgot.
Huh?
I can't sit down.
Well, you can't lie down then. What the hell? Or you'll come to a standstill. Simply stand. Stop and stand still. The way you are now, one day you'll say, I'm tired, I'll stop. What does the attitude matter?
So you all want me to leave you.
Naturally.
Then I'll leave you.
You can't leave us.
Then I won't leave you.
Why don't you finish us? I'll tell you the combination of the cupboard if you promise to finish me.
I couldn't finish you.
Then you won't finish me.
I'll leave you. I have things to do.
Do you remember when we came here?
No. Too small, you told me.
Do you remember your father?
Same answer. You've asked me these questions millions of times.
I love the old questions. Ah, the old questions, the old answers. There's nothing like them. I was a father to you.
Yes,
He looks at Ham fixedly.
you were that to me.
My house, a home for you.
Yes,
He looks about him.
this was that for me.
But for me,
Gesture towards himself.
no father, but for Ham,
Gesture towards surroundings.
no home.
I'll leave you.
Did you ever think of one thing?
Never.
That we're down here in a hole, but beyond the hills, eh? Perhaps it's still green, eh? Flora, Pomona, Ceres. Perhaps you won't need to go very far.
I can't go very far. I'll leave you.
Is my dog ready?
He lacks a leg.
Is he silky?
He's kind of a Pomeranian.
Go and get him.
He lacks a leg.
Go and get him.
Exit Clov.
We're getting on.
Enter Clov, holding by one of its 3 legs a black toy dog.
Your dogs are here.
He hands the dog to Ham, who feels it, fondles it.
He's white, isn't he?
Nearly.
What do you mean nearly? Is he white or isn't he?
He isn't.
You've forgotten the sex.
But he isn't finished. The sex goes on at the end.
You haven't put on his ribbon.
But he isn't finished, I tell you. First you finish your dog, and then you put on his ribbon.
Can he stand?
I don't know.
Try.
He hands the dog to Clov, who places it on the ground.
Well,
Wait.
He squats down and tries to get the dog to stand on its 3 legs. Fails, lets it go. The dog falls on its side.
well,
He's standing.
Ham gropes for the dog.
where? Where is he?
Clov holds up the dog in a standing position.
There.
He takes Ham's hand and guides it towards the dog's head. Ham's hand on the dog's head.
Is he gazing at me?
Yes.
As if he were asking me to take him for a walk?
If you like.
Or as if he were begging me for a bone?
He withdraws his hand.
Leave him like that, standing there imploring me.
Clov straightens up. The dog falls on its side.
I'll leave you.
Have you had your vision?
Less.
Is Mother Peg's light on?
Light? How could anyone's light be on?
Extinguished.
Naturally, it's extinguished. If it's not on, it's extinguished.
No, I mean Mother Peg.
But naturally, she's extinguished. What's the matter with you today?
I'm taking my course. Is she buried?
Buried? Who would have buried her?
You?
Me? Haven't I enough to do without burying people?
But you'll bury me.
No, I won't bury you.
She was bonny once, like a flower of the field. And a great one for the men.
You were bonny once. It's a rare thing not to have been bonny. Once.
Go and get the gaff.
Clov goes to the door and halts.
Do this, do that, and I do it. I never refuse. Why?
You're not able to.
Soon I won't do it anymore.
You won't be able to anymore.
Exit Clov.
Ah, the creatures. Everything has to be explained to them.
Enter Clov with gaff.
Here's your gaff. Stick it up.
Gives the gaff to Ham, who, wielding it like a punt pole, tries to move his chair.
Did I move?
No.
Ham throws down the gaff.
Go and get the oil can.
What for?
To oil the casters.
I oiled them yesterday.
Yesterday? What does that mean, yesterday?
That means the bloody awful day long ago before this bloody awful day. I use the words you taught me. If they don't mean anything anymore, teach me others. Or let me be silent.
I once knew a madman who thought the end of the world had come. He was a painter, an engraver. I had great fondness for him. I used to go and see him in the asylum. I'd take him by the hand and drag him to the window. Look, there, all that rising corn. And there, look, the sails of the herring fleet. All that loveliness. He'd snatch away his hand and go back into his corner, appalled. All he had seen was ashes. He alone had been spared, forgotten. It appears the case was not so unusual. And I lost my place. I'm sorry, everybody, I lost my place again. What page are we on?
15.
15?
On the right-hand side. I think it's actually Cloud's line.
Great, but I'm good. Okay.
A madman? When was that?
Oh, way back. You were in the land of the living.
God be with those days.
I had a
And
great
raises his toque.
fondness for him.
He puts on his toque again.
He was a painter, an engraver.
There's so many terrible things.
No, there are not so many now. Clav,
Yes?
do you not think this has gone on long enough?
Yes. What?
This thing.
I've always thought so. You not?
Then it's a day like any other day.
As long as it lasts. All life long, the same inanities.
I can't leave you.
I know. And you can't follow me.
If you leave me, how shall I know?
Well, you simply whistle me, and if I don't come running, it means I've left you.
You won't come and kiss me goodbye?
Oh, I shouldn't think so.
But you might be merely dead in your kitchen.
The result would be the same.
Yes, but how would I know if you were merely dead in your kitchen?
Well, sooner or later I'd start to stink.
You stink already. The whole place stinks of corpses.
The whole universe.
Oh, hell with the universe. Think of something.
What?
An idea. Have an idea. A bright idea.
Ah, good.
He starts pacing to and fro, his eyes fixed on the ground, his hands behind his back. He halts.
Pains in my legs. It's unbelievable. Soon I won't be able to think anymore.
You won't be able to leave me.
Claude resumes his pacing.
What are you doing?
Having an idea.
He paces.
Ah,
He halts.
What a brain. Well,
wait.
He meditates, not very convinced.
Yes.
He raises his head.
I have it. I set the alarm.
this is perhaps not one of my bright days, but frankly,
You whistle me, I don't come. The alarm rings, I'm gone. It doesn't ring, I'm dead.
is it working? The alarm, is it working?
Why wouldn't it be working?
Because it's worked too much.
But it's hardly worked at all.
Then because it's worked too little.
I'll go and see.
Exit Claude. Brief ring of alarm off stage. Enter Claude with alarm clock. He holds it against Ham's ear and releases alarm. They listen to it ringing to the end.
Fit to wake the dead. Did you hear it?
Vaguely.
The end is terrific.
I prefer the middle. Is it not time for my painkiller?
No.
He goes to door. Turns.
I'll leave you.
It's time for my story. Do you want to listen to my story?
No.
Ask my father if he wants to listen to my story.
Claude goes to bins, raises the lid of Nags, stoops, looks into it, pause. He straightens up.
He's asleep.
Wake him.
Claude stoops, wakes Nag with the alarm. Unintelligible words. Claude straightens up.
He doesn't want to listen to your story.
I'll give him a bonbon.
Clov stoops, as before.
He wants a sugar plum.
He'll get a sugar plum.
Clov stoops, as before.
It's a deal.
He goes towards door. Nag's hands appear, gripping the rim. Then the head emerges. Clov reaches door, turns.
Do you believe in the life to come?
Mine was always that.
Exit Clov.
Got him that time.
I'm listening.
Scoundrel. Why did you engender me?
I don't know.
What? What didn't you know?
That it'd be you. You'll give me a sugar plum.
After the audition.
You swear?
Yes.
On what?
My honor.
Two.
One.
One for me and one for...
One. Silence. Where was I? It's finished. We're finished. Nearly finished. There'll be no more speech. Something dripping in my head ever since the fontanelles. Splish splash, always on the same spot. Perhaps it's a little vein, a little artery. Enough of that. It's story time. Where was I? The man came crawling towards me on his belly. Pale, wonderfully pale and thin. He seemed on the point of... No, I've done that bit. I calmly filled my pipe, the meerschaum, lit it with, let us say, a Vesta, drew a few puffs. Well, what did you want? It was an extraordinarily bitter day. I remember 0 by the thermometer, but considering it was Christmas Eve, there was nothing extraordinary about that. Seasonable weather for once in a way. Well, what ill wind blows you my way? He raised his face to me, black with mingled dirt and tears. That should do it. No, don't look at me, don't look at me. He dropped his eyes, mumbled something, apologies, I presume. I'm a busy man, you know, the final touches before the festivities. You know what it is. Come on now. What is the object of this invasion? It was a glorious bright night. I remember 50 by the heliometer, but already the sun was sinking down into the, down among the dead. Nicely put that. Come on now, come on, present your petition and let me resume my labors. There's English for you. Oh, well. It was then he took the plunge. It's my little one, he said. A little one, that's bad. My little boy, he said, as if the sex mattered. Where did he come from? He named the whole. A good half day on horse. What are you insinuating? That the place is still inhabited? No, not a soul, except himself and the child, assuming he existed. Good. I inquired about the situation at Clov beyond the Gulf. Not a sinner. Good. And you expect me to believe you have left your little one back there, all alone and alive in the bargain? Come now. It was a howling day. I remember. $100 by the anemometer. The wind was tearing up the dead pines and sweeping them away. A feeble bit, that. Come on, man, speak up. What is it you want from me? I have to put up my holly. Well, to make it short, it finally transpired that what he wanted from me was bread for his brat. Bread? But I have no bread. It doesn't agree with me. Good. Then perhaps a little corn. That should do it. Corn, yes, I have corn. It's true in my granaries. But use your head, I give you some corn, a pound and a half. You bring it back to your child and you make him, if he's still alive, a nice pot of porridge. A nice pot and a half of porridge. Full of nourishment. Good. The colors come back into his little cheeks, perhaps. And then I lost patience. Use your head, can't you? Use your head. You're on Earth. There's no cure for that. It was an exceedingly dry day. I remember 0 by the hygrometer. Ideal weather for my lumbago. But what in God's name do you imagine? That the earth will awake in the spring, that the rivers and seas will run with fish again? That there's manna in heaven still for imbeciles like you? Gradually, I cooled down sufficiently to at least to ask him how long he had taken on the way. 3 whole days. Good. In what condition he had left the child, deep in sleep. But deep in what sleep? Deep in what sleep already? Well, to make it short, I finally offered to take him into my service. He had touched a chord. And then I imagined already that I wasn't much longer for this world. Well, here, if you were careful, you might die a nice natural death in peace and comfort. Well, why is it so long coming? There I'll be in the old shelter, alone against the silence and the stillness. If I can hold my peace and sit quiet, it will be all over with sound and motion, all over and done with. I'll have called my father and I'll have called my son, and even 2 or 3 times in case they shouldn't have heard me the first time or the second. I'll say to myself, he'll come back. And then he couldn't, he's gone too far. And then all kinds of fantasies that I'm being watched, a rat, steps, breath held, and then babble words like the solitary child who turns himself into children, 2, 3, so as to be together and whispers again in the dark. Moment upon moment, pattering down like the millet grains of what page? My iPad keeps flipping. What page?
18.
18. Thank you. I
On
apologize
the right side.
to everybody. Yeah, I know. In the end, he asked me would I consent to take in the child as well, if he were still alive. It was the moment I was waiting for. Would I consent to take in the child? I can see him still down on his knees, his hands flat on the ground, glaring at me with his mad eyes in defiance of my wishes. I'll soon finish with this story, unless I can bring in other characters. But where would I find them? Where would I look for them?
He whistles. Enter Clove.
Let us pray to God.
Sugar plum.
There's a rat in the kitchen.
A rat. Are there still rats?
In the kitchen, there's one.
You haven't exterminated him?
Half. You disturbed us.
He can't get away.
No.
You'll finish him later. Let us pray to God.
Again?
The sugar plum.
God first. You're right.
Off we go.
And you.
Clasping his hands, closing his eyes in a gabble.
Our Father, which art...
Our Father, which art...
Silence. In silence. Where are your manners? Off we go.
Attitudes of prayer, silence, abandoning his attitude, discouraged.
Well,
What a hope. And you?
sweet damn all. And you.
Wait. Nothing doing.
The bastard. He doesn't exist.
Not yet.
Me sugar plum.
There are no more sugar plums.
It's natural after all. I am your father. It's true, if it hadn't been me, it would have been someone else. But that's no good. Turkish Delight, for example, which no longer exists. We all know that. There's nothing in the world I love more, and one day I'll ask you for something in return for a kindness and no promise to me. One must live with the time. Whom did you call when you were a tiny boy and were frightened in the dark? Your mother? No, me. We let you cry, then we moved you out of earshot, so we might let you sleep, so we might sleep in peace. I was asleep as happy as a king, and you woke me up to have me listen to you. It wasn't indispensable. You didn't really need to have me listen to you. I hope the day will come when you really need me to have me listen to you, and you need to hear my voice in any voice. Yes, I hope I'll live till then to hear you calling me like you were a tiny boy and were afraid in the dark. I was your only hope. Now,
Our revels are ended. The dog's gone.
He's not a real dog. He can't go.
He's not there.
He's laying down.
Give him to me.
Claw picks up the dog and hands it to Ham. Ham holds it in his arms. Pause. Ham throws away the dog.
Dirty brute.
Claw begins to pick up objects lying on the ground.
What are you doing?
Putting things in order.
He straightens up fervently.
I'm going to clear everything away.
He starts picking up again.
Order.
Straightening up.
I love order. It's my dream. A world where all would be silent and still, and each thing in its last place under the last dust.
He starts picking up again.
What in God's name do you think you're doing?
Straightening up.
I'm doing my best to create a little order.
Drop it.
Claw drops the object he's picked up.
After all, there or elsewhere.
He goes towards the door.
What's wrong with your feet?
My feet?
Tramp.
I must have put on my boots.
Your slippers were hurting you?
I'll leave you.
No.
What is there to keep me here?
The dialogue. I've got on with my story. I've got on with it well. Ask me where I've got to.
Oh, by the way, your story?
What story?
The one you've been telling yourself all your days.
You mean my chronicle?
That's the one.
Keep going, can't you? Keep going.
You've got on with it, I hope.
Oh, not very far, not very far. There are days like that one isn't inspired. Nothing you can do about it. Just wait for it to come. No forcing. It's fatal. I've got on with a little all the same. Technique, you know. I say I've got on with it a little all the same.
Well, I never, in spite of everything, you were able to get on with it.
Huh. Oh, not very far, not very far, but nevertheless, better than nothing.
Better than nothing. Is it possible?
I'll tell you how it goes. He comes crawling on his belly.
Who?
What?
Who do you mean, he?
Who do I mean? Yet another.
Ah, him. I wasn't sure.
Crawling on his belly, whining for bread for his brat. He's offered a job as a gardener before. What is there so funny about that?
Job as a gardener.
Is that what tickles you?
It must be that.
It wouldn't be the bread.
Or the brat.
The whole thing is comical, I grant you that. What about having a good guffaw, the two of us together?
I couldn't guffaw again today.
Nor I. I continue then. Before accepting with gratitude, he asks if he may have his little boy with him.
What age?
Oh, tiny.
You would have climbed the trees.
The little odd jobs.
And then he would have grown up.
Very likely.
Keep going, can't you? Keep going.
That's all. I stop there.
Do you see how it goes on?
More or less. Will it not soon be the end?
That was my line.
Oh, sorry.
Will it
I'm
not
afraid it
soon be
will.
the end? You'll make up another.
I don't know. I feel rather drained. The prolonged creative effort. If I could drag myself down to the sea, I'd make a pillow of sand for my head and the tide would come.
There's no more tide.
Go and see if is she dead?
Claude goes to the bins, raises the lid of Nell's, stoops, looks into it, pauses.
Looks like it.
He closes the lid, straightens up. Ham raises his toque, pause, puts it on again. With his hand to the toque.
A nag.
Claude raises the lid of Nag's bin, stoops, looks into it, pause.
Doesn't look like it.
He closes the lid, straightens up, letting go of his toque.
What is he doing?
Claude raises the lid of Nag's bin, stoops, looks into it, pause.
He's crying.
He closes lid, straightens up.
Then he's living. Did you ever have an instant of happiness?
Not to my knowledge.
Bring me under the window. I want to feel the light on my face. Do you remember in the
Claude
beginning?
pushes his chair.
Do you remember in the beginning when you took me for a turn? You used to hold a chair too high. At every step, you nearly tipped me out.
The senile quaver.
Great fun. We had the two of us great fun. And then we got into the way of it.
Claude stops the chair under window right.
There already?
He tilts back his head.
Is it light?
It isn't dark.
I'm asking you, is it light?
Yes.
The curtain isn't closed?
No.
What window is it?
The earth.
I knew it. But there's no light there. The other.
Claude pushes chair towards window left.
The earth.
Claude stops the chair under window left. Ham tilts back his head.
That's what I call light. Feels like a ray of sunshine. No? No? It isn't a ray of sunshine I feel on my face.
No.
Am I very white?
Angrily.
I'm asking you, am I very white?
Not more so than usual.
Open the window.
What for?
I want to hear the sea.
You wouldn't hear it.
Even if you open the window,
No.
then it's not worth while opening it.
No.
Then open it.
Clov gets up on the ladder, opens the window.
Have you opened it?
Yes.
You swear you've opened it.
Yes.
Well, I must be very calm. I'm asking you, is it very calm?
Yes.
It's because there are no more navigators. You haven't much conversation all of a sudden. Do you not feel well?
I'm cold.
What month are we? Close the window. We're going back.
Clov closes the window, gets down, pushes the chair back to its place, remains standing behind it, head bowed.
Don't stand there. You give me the shivers.
Clov returns to his place beside the chair.
Father? Father! Go and see, did he hear me?
Clov goes to Nag's bin, raises the lid, stoops. Unintelligible words. Clov straightens up.
Yes.
Both times?
Clov stoops, as before.
Once only.
The first time or the second?
Clov stoops, as before.
He doesn't know.
It must have been the second.
We'll never know.
He closes lid.
Is he still crying?
No.
The dead go fast. What's he doing?
Sucking his biscuit.
What goes on?
Clov returns to the place beside the chair.
Give me the rug. I'm freezing.
There are no more rugs.
Kiss me. Will you not kiss me?
No.
On the forehead?
I won't kiss you anywhere.
Give me your
Holding out
hand.
his hand.
Please. Will you not give me your hand?
I won't touch you.
Give me the dog.
Clov looks around for the dog.
No.
Do you not want your dog?
No.
Then I'll leave you.
Head bowed.
That's right.
Clov goes to door, turns.
If I don't kill that rat, he'll die.
That's right.
Before. Exit
Me
Clov.
to play. Me to play.
He takes out his handkerchief, unfolds it, holds it spread out before him.
We're getting on. You weep and weep for nothing, so as not to laugh, and little by little you begin to grieve.
He folds the handkerchief, puts it back in his pocket, raises his head.
All those I might have helped, saved. The place was crawling with them. Use your head, can't you? Use your head. You're on Earth. There's no cure for that. Get out of here and love one another. Lick your neighbor as yourself. When it wasn't bread they wanted, it was crumpets. Out of my sight. Back to your petting parties. All that. Not even a real dog. The end is in the beginning, and yet you go on. Perhaps I could go on with my story, end it, and begin another. Perhaps I could throw myself out on the floor.
He pushes himself painfully off his seat, falls back again.
Dig my nails into the cracks and drag myself forward with my fingers. It will be the end, and there I'll be, wondering what can have brought it on, and wondering what can have, why it was so long coming. There I'll be in the old shelter, alone against the silence and the stillness. If I can hold my peace and sit quiet, it will all be over with sound and motion, all over and done with. I'll have called my father and I'll have called my son. And even twice or three times in case they shouldn't have heard me, the first time or the second, I'll say to myself, he'll come back. And then he couldn't, he's gone too far. And then all kinds of fantasies that I'm being watched, a rat steps, breath held, and then babble words like the solitary child who turns himself into children, 2, 3, so as to be together and whisper together in the dark. Moment upon moment, pattering down like the millet grains of that old creek. And all life long, you wait for that to mount up to a life.
He opens his mouth to continue, renounces.
Let's get it over.
He whistles. Enter Clav with alarm clock. He halts beside the chair.
What? Neither gone nor dead?
In spirit only.
Which?
Both.
Gone from me, you'd be dead.
And vice versa.
Outside of here is death. And the rat?
He's got away.
He can't go far. Eh?
He doesn't need to go far.
Is it not time for my painkiller?
Yes.
At last. Give it to me. Quick.
There's no more painkiller.
Good. No more painkiller.
No more painkiller. You'll never get any more painkiller.
But the little round box, it was full.
Yes, but now it's empty.
Clav starts to move about the room. He is looking for a place to put down the alarm clock.
What'll I do? What'll I do?
Clav sees the picture, takes it down, stands it on the floor with its face to the wall, hangs up the alarm clock in its place.
What are you doing?
Winding up.
Look at the earth.
Again.
Since it's calling to you.
Is your throat sore? Would you like a lozenge? No. Pity.
Clav goes, humming, towards window right, halts before it, looks up at it.
Don't sing.
Turning towards Ham.
One hasn't the right to sing anymore?
No.
Then how can it end?
You want it to end?
I want to sing.
I can't prevent you.
Clav turns towards window right.
What did I do with that steps?
He looks around to the ladder.
You didn't see that steps?
He sees it.
Ah, about time.
He goes towards window left.
Sometimes I wonder if I'm in my right mind. Then it passes over and I'm as lucid as before.
He gets up on ladder, looks out of window.
Christ, she's underwater.
He looks.
How can that be?
He pokes forward his head, his hand above his eyes.
It hasn't rained.
He wipes the pain, looks.
Ah, what a fool I am. It's on the wrong side.
He gets down, takes a few steps towards window right.
Underwater.
He goes back for ladder.
What a fool I am.
He carries ladder towards window right.
Sometimes I wonder if I'm in my right senses. Then it passes off and I'm as intelligent as ever.
He sets down ladder under window right, gets up on it, looks out of window. He turns towards Ham.
Any particular sector you fancy, or merely the whole thing?
Whole thing.
The general effect? Just a moment.
He looks out a window.
Clav? Do you know what it is?
Hmm?
I was never there. Clav?
Turning
What is it?
towards him.
I was never there.
Lucky for you.
He looks out a window.
Absent always. It all happened without me. I don't know what's happened. Do you know what's happened? Clav,
Do you want me to look at this muck heap or not?
answer me first.
What?
Do you know what's happened?
When? Where?
When? What's happened? Use your head, can't you? What has happened?
What for Christ's sake does it matter?
He looks out a window.
I don't know.
Clav turns towards Ham.
When old Mother Peg asked you for oil for your lamp, her lamp, and you told her to get out to hell, you knew what was happening then, no? You know what she died of, Mother Peg? Of darkness.
I hadn't done it.
Yes, you had.
Have you the glass?
No, it's clear enough as it is.
Go and get it.
Clav casts up his eyes, brandishes his fists. He loses his balance, clutches onto the ladder. He starts to get down, halts.
There's one thing I'll never understand.
He gets down.
Why I always obey you. Can you explain that to me?
No. Perhaps it's compassion. A kind of great compassion. Oh, you wouldn't find it easy. You won't find it easy.
Claude begins to move about the room in search of the telescope.
I'm tired of your goings-on, very tired.
He searches.
You're not sitting on it?
He moves the chair, looks at the place where it stood, resumes his search.
Don't leave me there.
Angrily, Claude restores the chair to its place.
Am I right in the center?
You need a microscope to find this.
He sees the telescope.
Ah, about time.
He picks up the telescope, gets on the ladder, turns the telescope on the without.
Give me the dog.
Quiet.
Give me the dog.
Claude drops the telescope, clasps his hands to his head, pause, gets down precipitately, looks for the dog, sees it, picks it up, hastens towards Ham and strikes him violently on the head with the dog.
There's your dog for you.
Dog falls to the ground.
He hit me.
You drive me mad. I'm mad.
If you must hit me with the axe. Or with the gaff. Hit me with the gaff. Not with the dog, with the gaff. Or with the axe.
Claude picks up the dog and gives it to Ham, who takes it in his arms.
Let's stop playing.
Never. Put me in my coffin.
There are no more coffins.
And let it end.
Claude goes towards ladder.
With a bang.
Claude gets up on ladder, gets down again, looks for telescope, sees it, picks it up, gets on ladder, raises telescope.
Of darkness. And me? Did anyone ever have pity on me?
Lowering the telescope, turning towards Ham.
What? Oh,
Is it me you're referring to?
an aside, ape. Did you never hear an aside before? I'm warming up for my last soliloquy.
I warn you, I'm going to look at this filth since it's in order, but it's the last time.
He turns his telescope on the without.
Let's see.
He moves the telescope.
Nothing, good, nothing, good.
He starts, lowers the telescope, examines it, turns it again on the without. Pause.
Bad luck to it.
More complications.
Claude gets down.
Not an underplot, I trust.
Claude moves ladder towards the nearest window, gets up on it, turns telescope on the without.
Looks like a small boy.
A small boy.
I'll go and see. Oh, sorry.
I'll go and see.
He gets down, drops the telescope, goes towards door, turns.
I'll take the gaff.
He looks for the gaff, sees it, picks it up, hastens towards door.
No.
Claude halts.
No. A potential procreator?
If he exists, he'll die there or he'll come here. And if he doesn't,
You don't believe me? You think I'm inventing?
it's the end, Claude. We've come to the end. I don't need you anymore.
Lucky for you.
He goes towards the door.
Leave me the gaff.
Claude gives him the gaff, goes towards the door, halts, looks at the alarm clock, takes it down, looks around for a better place to put it, goes to bins, puts it on top of Nag's bin.
I'll leave you.
He goes toward the door.
Before you go,
Claude halts near door.
say something.
There's nothing to say.
A few words to ponder in my heart.
Your heart.
Yes. Yes. With the rest in the end, the shadows, the murmurs, all the trouble to end up with. Claude, he never spoke to me. Then in the end, before he went, without my having asked him, he spoke to me. He said,
Ah,
something from your heart.
my heart.
A few words from your heart.
They said to me, that's love. Yes, yes, not a doubt. Now you see how
Articulate.
easy it is. They said to me, that's friendship. Yes, yes, no question. You found it. They said to me, here's the place. Stop. Raise your head and look at all that beauty, that order. They said to me, come now, you're not a brute beast. Think upon these things and you'll see how all becomes clear and simple. They said to me, what skilled attention they get, all these dying of their wounds.
Enough.
I say to myself, sometimes, Claude, you must learn to suffer better than that if you want them to weary of punishing you. One day I say to myself, sometimes, Claude, you must be better than that if you want them to let you go. One day. But I feel too old and too far to form new habits. Good. It'll never end. I'll never go. Then one day, suddenly, it ends, it changes. I don't understand, it dies or it's me. I don't understand that either. I ask the words that remain, sleeping, waking, morning, evening. They have nothing to say. I open the door of my cell and go. I am so bowed I only see my feet if I open my eyes, and between my legs a little trail of black dust. I say to myself that the earth is extinguished, though I never saw it lit. It's easy going. When I fall, I'll weep for happiness.
He goes towards door.
Claude?
Claude halts without turning.
Nothing.
Claude moves on.
Claude?
Claude halts without turning.
This is what we call making an exit.
I'm obliged to you, Claude, for your services.
Turning sharply.
Ah, pardon. It's I am obliged to you.
It's we are obliged to each other.
Claude goes towards door.
One thing more.
Claude halts.
A last favor.
Exit Claude.
Cover me with the sheet. No. Good. Me to play. Old Endgame lost of old. Play and lose and have done with losing. Let me see. Ah, yes.
He tries to move the chair, using the gaff as before. Enter Claude, dressed for the road. Panama hat, tweed coat, raincoat over his arm, umbrella, bag. He halts by the door and stands there, impassive and motionless, his eyes fixed on Ham till the end.
Ham gives up. Good. Discard.
He throws away the gaff, makes to throw away the dog, thinks better of it.
Take it easy. And now, raise hat.
He raises his toque.
Peace to our arses. And put on again.
Puts on his toque.
Deuce.
He wipes off his glasses.
Wipe.
He takes out his handkerchief and without unfolding it, wipes his glasses.
And put on again.
He puts on his glasses, puts back the handkerchief in his pocket.
We're coming. A few more squirms like that and I'll call. A little poetry. You prayed.
He corrects himself.
You cried for a night. It comes.
Corrects himself.
It falls. Now cry in darkness.
He repeats, chanting.
You cried for night. It falls. Now cry in darkness. Nicely put that. And now, moments for nothing. Now is always. Time was never, and time is over. Reckoning closed and story ended. If he could have his child with him. It was a moment I was waiting for. You don't want to abandon him. You want him to bloom while you were withering. Be that a solace your last million last moments. He doesn't realize all we know is hunger and cold and death to crowd it all. But you ought to know what the earth is like nowadays. Oh, I put him before his responsibilities. Well, there we are. There I am. That's enough. Yes, truly.
He raises the whistle to his lips, hesitates, drops it.
Good. Father. Good. We're coming. And to end up with discard.
He throws away the dog. He tears the whistle from his neck.
With my compliments.
He throws the whistle towards the auditorium. He sniffs.
Claude? No? Good.
He takes out the handkerchief.
Since that's the way we're playing it,
He unfolds the handkerchief.
let's play it that way.
He unfolds.
and speak no more about it.
He finishes unfolding.
Speak no more.
He holds his handkerchief spread out before him.
Old stature, you remain.
He covers his face with the handkerchief, lowers his arms to his armrests, remains motionless. Brief tableau. Curtain.
Yay.
Yay.
Great job, everybody.
Hey, good
Thanks.
job.
I apologize.